In today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 books that I actually read in 2025 to help grow myself as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, and just how to work on myself just as a person. And I really just kind of wanted to share a few of those with you and why I think everyone should read them as a business owner and how they helped me, kind of some golden nuggets that I found from these books. And then I'll also share with you some of the books that I have on my reading list for 2026. So, this first book, The 5 Second Rule by Mel Robbins, I technically didn't finish this in 2025 because I actually finished it New Year's Day at like 4 in the morning. I had accidentally drank too much caffeine the night before and couldn't sleep, so I just got up super early and I finished this book. Super good read, super easy to read actually. It has great flow, and kind of the concept about this book is that every time that you have any type of like hesitation for taking action on something, whether it's simply just getting out of bed. That's actually how she came up with the 5 second rule, is that she would count down, like a launch countdown. You can actually kind of see on the back of the book, she's, for the jacket cover, you can kind of see she's got this little rocket ship. And she, Mel Robbins had, one night randomly, she was going through a very rough time in her life. And one night she's like, you know what, I really need to just make a difference, make a change. And she was watching this video or TV show or something, like a commercial. And it was like a 5 second countdown from a rocket launch. And she was like, you know what? That's a great idea. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to launch myself out of bed. And so with a little bit of research backed information and studies included in the book, Mel Robbins kind of explains the benefit of the 5 second rule and how you can basically avoid hesitating, waiting to do things that you really need to do by making your decision in 5 seconds. So very helpful. And one other really good golden nugget that I actually found in this book was that you can, this is kind of more towards the end of the book, but you can, anytime you have anxiety, you can reframe it as, instead of you having anxiety, you're excited for something. I'm not anxious about going to the gym. I'm excited to go to the gym. So just different things like that included in the book, and lots of proof from some people that have used this 5 second rule as well to basically change your lives. So definitely a great book to read, 5 second rule. And I'll include links to all of these books on Amazon as well in the description. So that way, if you're interested, you can grab it. One book that I finished earlier this year, Get Rich Lucky Bitch, kind of a fun title. But this is by Denise Duffield Thomas. She made the book very easy to read. It's just very enjoyable to read. I used to be a reader when I was younger, and then I just stopped enjoying reading as much. I think it was because I was told to read books, and I just didn't enjoy that. So I've kind of found my love of reading again. So I really wanted to share these all these books with you. But I actually don't have the book with me here because I let a family member borrow it. But so I printed off the sheet so you can kind of see what the cover looks like. But in this book, Denise shares how to basically break through your limiting beliefs surrounding money, and like why you might have those limiting beliefs, usually around your relationship to money, your experience with money in general. Sometimes it's trauma based around money. So just kind of going into details a little bit about that, and just kind of pushing through those limiting beliefs and how you can change your life personally and on a business standpoint just by improving your relationship with money and just changing your whole mindset about money as well, and that it's a good thing. It doesn't have to be a negative thing, your relationship with money. So definitely a good read. It's been a little while since I've read that, but definitely this is a great one, especially for female entrepreneurs as well. But everyone can definitely benefit from that. And then another one I read, I think early in 2025, was The Audacity to Be Queen by Gina DeVee. It's been a while since I've read this, so some of the details have kind of eluded me, but definitely a great read. Kind of a different way to look about or think about your life a little bit. And this is more for female entrepreneurs as well, for just women, but it can apply to men as well to some degree. But it's basically going through how you view your own energy and how you can just basically kind of manifest your dreams and goals, and how you can change your mindset to basically come into your queenhood, essentially, is kind of what it's about. So every girl is a queen inside. She just has to come into her own power, and a lot of that is based on your mindset. So this is a great one to read as well. I probably need to go through this again, but just kind of a very fun outlook on kind of coming into your own energy, your own power, your own influence, all of that. So definitely a good one to read. I will probably reread this one again at some point. But that's a good one. And then I'm going to go through actually this one here. I have not completely finished this one yet, but it is another really great one. You can kind of still see I'm almost done. But this one is another book by Mel Robbins. Kind of got into a Mel Robbins theme this year, but this is the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. It is kind of an interesting concept that she kind of stumbled upon, similar to the 5-second rule. But this concept, the Let Them Theory, is that anytime something isn't really working for some, or like, so I'm trying to figure out how to describe this, but basically anytime something isn't going the way you want, or someone is doing something you don't like, the rule is just let them do whatever it is they're going to do. If they don't like the way you look and they're going to, insult, I don't know, something about you or whatever, you just let them and let it just roll off you. Don't let it influence you, your energy. Actually, I'm just going to tell a little story from in the book. So one of Mel's kids was going to, I think it was one of her younger kids, but he was going to prom with his date and a few other friends. And Mel, wanting to make sure they had a really good time, had encouraged them to go to like a nice sit-down restaurant rather than what they ended up doing, which was, I think, going to like a taco stand or something. And Mel was kind of concerned because at the time, I think it was starting to look stormy outside and it was going to potentially rain. And she wanted to kind of control, I don't want to say control, but to really step in and help. And one of Mel's older kids had said, just let them do what they want to do. Don't let this affect you as a person. And don't let it affect your energy. Just let them do what they're going to do. Let them have the fun that they're going to do. Or let them have the fun that they're going to have. And they'd end up having a great time. And it's kind of the theory is that you let someone else do what they're going to do. And then you let yourself do what you're going to do. So I'm not really describing this very well. But basically, don't let others influence who you are as a person. Don't let them influence how you make decisions, how you feel. You are the one that gets to control that. Don't let your emotions take over. Just kind of some different, a different way to kind of look into how people are responding to you. So I'm really not doing a good job of describing this one. I'm still only like 3/4 of the way through. But it's just kind of an interesting way to handle how you make decisions and how you interact with other people. So just let them do their thing and let you do your thing. So there's a lot of stories in here as well that describes it much better than I did. So sorry about that. But that is the Let Them theory. It is much better than how I described it. So definitely check it out. I will include the link to this as well. And then another one here, this is probably the next really good one. This is more business related. About What Your Customers Want and Can't Tell You by Melina Palmer. She also has a podcast. I believe I haven't listened to very many of those episodes yet, but I definitely want to start listening to those this year as well. I actually listened to this as an ebook, but I loved it so much that I really wanted to have like the physical copy of it so I could highlight things, take notes. It's been a while since I've listened to that, but I definitely want to go through this again. I think this is going to be one of those books for me that I highlight the crap out of it and I find these very actionable steps to take. When I was listening to the ebook, I was just like totally blown away by how incredibly insightful some of the things were in this book. The concept of the book is basically, so the subheading here is Unlocking Consumer Decisions with the Science of Behavioral Economics. So basically this book goes into the human psychology of how we make decisions around buying, spending our money, that kind of thing. And it kind of goes into the psychology of that and how people have come to make their decisions, how they don't make decisions, just different mindsets that people have around money, buying, purchasing, all of that, around brands and how a brand comes to name itself and create itself essentially. So very, very insightful. Definitely recommend. If you aren't sure if you want this book or not, Melina Palmer, she does have a podcast. I will have to find that and link it into the description of this video as well, so that way you can take a look at that if you want, because I can't remember the name of it right now, but definitely very insightful, especially if you are like selling your own products and things like that. So definitely a good one. And I think actually that's pretty much all of the main ones that I read this year. I'm still in the process of reading. This is a much smaller book, but I am kind of a slow reader. I've never been a very fast reader, and that is something that I want to work on because I want to obviously read more books. And so I did find this book. This is kind of like an honorable mention. But for those of you who are slow readers like me, I definitely recommend taking a look at this. For those of you who are fast readers, don't even worry about it. Not a big deal. This isn't really for you, but I don't know if I'll ever be able to read a 200-page book in 1 hour or not, but this is pretty easy reading. It's very, very short chapters. It's got like some practice drills in there as well for you to kind of improve the techniques or work on the techniques that it mentions in there. A lot of it is just like the strategy of how you go about reading and just the process of it. So again, this is just an honorable mention for those of you who are slower readers like myself, and you want to become a faster reader. I do recommend this one. Pretty simple to read. It's pretty thin. Like it's like maybe over 100. It's 118 pages, I think. No, yeah, because the rest is just resources and such. A very quick read though. I'm still in the process of going through it because it has a lot of like practice stuff that I want to go through how it recommends going through it. So again, links are all in the description for all of these. And then now I'm going to go over the ones that I am planning on reading this year. So kind of ambitious here. So let me grab something real quick. Okay, so I wanted to show you one other thing too before I get into the ones that I'm planning to read this year. So the other day I was like, you know what, reading just doesn't come as easy to me. I want to make it like a habit to read. So I created this little worksheet, tracker sheet, I guess you can say. And so I printed off a whole bunch of these, but I basically made a tracker sheet here. So even if I don't finish 2 books a month, I can at least cross off every time I read for 30 minutes. So I'll also include a link to grab this as well, just a print off for it. So again, I'm a slow reader, and 2 books a month for me might take that long. You can always change that number however you want. But it actually helped me to at least set aside a 30-minute time frame to read. Every time I think about reading, I'm like, you know what? Let me set aside 30 minutes. Once I do that, I'll cross it off and I'll get how far I get. I don't have to like read a chapter and then go to bed or whatever. I do 30 minutes of reading and then I'm done. And if I want to do more, I do another 30 minutes. So I just set a timer on my phone and start reading for 30 minutes. Whether I, finish a chapter or whatever, then I do. If not, then I've, at a bare minimum, read for 30 minutes. So I'll include a link to this as well. I've found that this has actually kind of encouraged me to read more. It's kind of like a little bit of a dopamine hit. Every time I cross off, I'm like, yes, I got 30 minutes in. So a lot more tangible than just saying, oh, I read a chapter, at least for me. So if you want that, I'll include a link so you can grab that and download it. Now on to the books that I'm planning on reading this year. So I have a whole fat stack over here. The first one is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I think this is kind of a much older book. I think, let's see. So this was written before 1936, I believe, and it's kind of been, I don't want to say modified, but like updated a little bit based on more modern day, like sociology and stuff. So, I think this is going to be an interesting read. So I'm pretty excited, but, I think it's just how to connect with people and just improve your influence over people. So very excited to read this. But that's this one here. I'll probably make that more towards the beginning. I'm trying to plan out my reading year based on what I believe the benefits are in each book, and how I want that to kind of, exponentially improve my year and my success. So, I will just start from the top down. So, this next one, the 12-week year, basically getting more done in 12 weeks than you normally do in 12 months. So, kind of glancing at this, what I gathered from the book here was that basically instead of planning out an entire year's worth of plans, you basically plan 12 weeks, and that is essentially your year. So basically you put in 12 weeks of work, or you plan for 12 weeks, and then you basically pretend that that's like a year of your time. So that's what I think it's about. I will have to make another video later about all of these other books and kind of what I got from them and what I would recommend. But it just seems like a more palatable way to basically plan out your year, whether it's creating content, creating like products, selling products, whatever it happens to be, just planning out 12 weeks at a time and then reevaluating for the next 12 weeks. So instead of doing like a quarter for every year, basically just thinking of 12 weeks. So another interesting read. I'll be excited to see what I get from that. I'll definitely have to make another video at the end of 26 and kind of share what I got from these. So the next one here is Talk Like Ted, the 9 public speaking secrets of the world's top minds. So interested to read that. My plan this year in my my online side business, hopefully become a full-time business, is that I'll do a little bit more speaking and presenting, whether it's, maybe guesting on like podcasts or whatever. So kind of excited to maybe get into that a little bit. But that's kind of why I got this book, was to help me kind of build up my mindset a little bit around speaking. And I want to also be better about presenting as well. So I'm planning on doing a lot more YouTube videos this year as well. Being a little bit more present on social media. And just being a little bit more facially present in my business this year. So I'm excited for this. With it only being about 9 secrets or whatever, I'm excited to see how in-depth each of those goes. So I really look forward to, they'll be really interesting. So I'm excited for that one as well. I'm not anxious, I'm excited. And then another one by Mel Robbins. I fell in love with her writing style, I guess. The High Five Habit. Take control of your life with one simple habit. So I think in her Let Them Theory book here, she mentioned that, quite often she mentioned the High Five Habit and how it helped a lot of people. And then she kind of related that back to the Let Them Theory. And I haven't really looked much into this too much, but from my understanding, basically the High Five Habit is that you give yourself a high five in the mirror or just a high five in general. And I think the premise is around just motivating you a little bit and giving you encouragement for taking the next step, or kind of celebrating the little wins that you have to basically, I don't want to say like build on your dopamine hits, but I would say just kind of building on that self-image and just kind of improving your overall outlook on your own successes and then building on that. So I think that's what this is about. I'm really excited to see what exactly it is and see how I can implement that throughout my year. So definitely one of the top of the list. I might leave this one kind of more towards halfway through the year. I've got a few books to focus on as well, but this one definitely is a top contender. Let me get a little drink here real quick. All right, the next one, Michael Hyatt, Free to Focus. So, a total productivity system to achieve more by doing less. So, there's another book I had. I don't have it up here with me in my office, but another book that I was reading, which I definitely would also recommend, is called Lean Learning. I can't remember. There's Pat Flynn, I think. And the concept of lean learning is that rather than taking in all of this information, trying to memorize everything, you only pick out the things that help you in the present. So, like if you're learning how to start a garden, which I'm actually planning on doing this year, so super excited. But if you're learning how to maybe start a garden, then you want to only learn the bare minimum of what you need to start this year. And then as you come across problems that you experience, then you would then learn more and address how to solve the current problems. So rather than looking, years ahead on problems that you might have, only focus on what you need to solve problems now. Basically minimizing how much information you're taking in so you're not overwhelming yourself with all this information and you end up losing all the helpful, actionable things that you need to know. So that's another really good one. I'll, again, include the link to that one too. But this one I feel like relates very similar to the Lean Learning book that I'm reading right now. I'm a little over halfway, I think, so I'm excited to finish that one. Yay for dopamine hits. But this one, I think, is basically removing distractions in your life, things that like suck away your time. Basically just pruning out things that don't help you. And then there's also a page here. It says build your own not to-do list. So just kind of removing things that take away your ability to focus and only keeping what's necessary. So actually there's a little page here I just want to share, but this will hopefully describe it better than I do, but if cutting out unnecessary or undesirable tasks leaves you with free time or margin, that is something to celebrate. So I think basically the premise of this goes well in line with the Lean Learning book. So this is another really good one I'm excited to read. So I'll probably have that towards the beginning of my reading list this year. This one here is more heavily business related and not just more general for like entrepreneurship. But this year I do want to work more on building up like sales funnels for my for the digital products and courses that I sell. This is more just marketing related, so not everyone's necessarily going to benefit from this. But basically how to optimize your sales funnels and skyrocket back in profits. So my hope is that this will help me just kind of improve like little details in how I set up my digital products, my funnels, and honestly just anything funnel related, whether it's through my email list, things like that, or even just like on my blog, how I get people to go from like one blog post to another to a product and so on. So my goal is that this will kind of help me get some good insight from that and kind of improve those little things here and there. That's usually how you get a lot more success, is you just work on one thing at a time. You improve 1% every day. And by the end of the year, you've improved, exponentially from the beginning. So another good one to read if you're into marketing. This next one here, I don't know a ton about, but it had a really pretty cover, so I really wanted to read it. But also, it just sounded kind of more good for like a personal thing. It just looks so pretty too. I really wanted to read it. So it's Big Magic: Creative Living Beyond Fear by Elizabeth Gilbert, author of Eat, Pray, Love. I've never read that. And it just kind of seems like a good overall book to just kind of give a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of a pick-me-up. So once I've read all of my like heavy business books, I'll probably need a little bit of a break from that and get a little bit of a pick-me-up. So this one definitely I want to get into a little bit. It is a New York Times bestseller, so obviously it's done very well for a lot of people. But I think this will just be a very good bit of a pick-me-up and be very encouraging, give a little bit more inspiration, give a little bit of a break from all those other heavy books. So I'm excited to read that. And then my next one, which I've started reading a little bit, I'm really bad at starting books and not finishing them. So that's another one of my goals this year, is to actually finish some of the books I've started. I've got a few of these on my list this year that I'm working on. So this one here, The 4-Hour Work Week: Escape the 9-to-5, Live Anywhere, and Join the New Rich. So this is by Timothy Ferriss. If I remember correctly, he's got a very popular podcast. I'll have to double check on that, but and I'll include a link to that podcast if that is correct. So I don't really remember much in the beginning. I'll probably start this from the beginning when I try to finish it again. But I think it's just going into like all the little details that people struggle with working a 9-to-5 job, and how to basically get the same results as a 40-hour work week, but in 4 hours essentially. So my hope is that this will be just kind of very insightful, and I'm sure it's going to have some pretty good quotes in there, but I'm excited to read it. So just a lot of different strategies that people have used, and how to eliminate tedious things that suck up your time. So I'll be interested to kind of dig into this. So the 4-hour work week. And then the next one, this one I've also started. Again, I'm so bad at starting and not finishing. But this one is 12 Months to $1 Million. How to Pick a Winning Product, Build a Real Business, and Become a 7-Figure Entrepreneur by Ryan Daniel Morgan. He's the founder of capitalism.com. Also the founder of ClickFunnels. No, sorry, hold on. The foreword is by Russell Brunson, which is the founder of ClickFunnels. So, I sell more digital products. So grabbing this book here kind of felt a little bit, like a different perspective for me, I guess. But I wanted to kind of see what the mindset was and the process that, that the author mentioned in this book, and just seeing just kind of how it helped me look at my business a little bit differently. So I'm really interested to see the difference between how someone would scale from or scale up to a $1 million with like a with one product or whatever. So I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily apply to physical products, but from what I gathered so far, a lot of it is related to physical products. But I will look into how it relates more to my business being a lot more digital products and stuff. So that'll be very fun and interesting to read. So also on my list this year, 12 months to $1 million. There's that one, and then this is another one I hadn't finished. This is more for female entrepreneurs and just women in general. This is Financial Feminist by Tori Dunlap. If you've ever heard about her, you've probably seen her share this book like crazy. She is super proud of being able to get a New York Times bestseller. It is Financial Feminist, Overcome the Patriarchy's Bullshit to Master Your Money and Build a Life You Love. So Tori Dunlap, she has a very popular podcast, her first 100K. And again, I'll include links to that as well. But she has helped a lot of women overcome struggles with money, whether it's building up financial independence, paying off debt, like investing in the stock market, basically just financial freedom as a whole. And she's helped a lot of women get started with that, and just a lot of people, not just women. But she's helped a lot of people learn a lot more about money and make it less taboo, and really just encourage, inspire, and kind of push people to actually take money or take action with their finances. And she's even helped a lot of women escape really bad situations because money was an issue at the time. So very inspiring, very encouraging. I need to finish this as well. I feel like a friend of mine and I were both reading this kind of around the same time, and she kind of agreed. It was a little bit harder to get through as well. I think it doesn't flow quite as smoothly for me as some other books. But I think once I get into it a little bit more, I'll be just fine. But again, like I said, I'm a slow reader. So sometimes sitting down and reading a book that might feel a little bit slow is, super easy for someone else. So I think a lot of that has to do with my reading speed. But I have to internalize the words in my head. So, but yeah, definitely another good one here. If you have any, limiting beliefs, if you're not confident with money, talking about money, she makes it much easier to, basically just get rid of those limiting beliefs you might have, make it easier to just talk about money in general. That's one of the things that she really focuses on, is just making it less taboo, talking about some controversial things even. So a good read as well. And then her podcast is very interesting as well. She's got a lot of interesting guest speakers on there. I listened to that, I think, when she had first started it, back in 2020, earlier than that, or whatever it was. When she had first started it, I think the first kind of series of her episodes, I had started listening to it. So very good overall. Another one I started and hadn't finished, Atomic Habits. Funnily, a little bit ironic, but this one is by James Clear. So working on tiny changes to get remarkable results, an easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones. Obviously, I haven't implemented this very well. So a very interesting story about how James Clear came into the concept of atomic habits. So atomic meaning microscopic on the atom level, basically changing those tiny changes to get big results. So very actionable things that you can do just in your daily life to make things more habitual and to take out bad habits that you don't want. This is another very good one. This is definitely an easier read. I just haven't finished it yet. There's a lot of like charts in here too, when in tables and stuff. So, very visually appealing for some of those as well. Yeah, things like that. Another chart, infographic. But just different strategies and techniques that you can add into your life to make things more habitual and to basically just reach your goals by making those tiny little changes. So this is definitely another one I need to finish. It is, what is it? About a 260 plus page book. So very packed full of very good strategies, but definitely a good one. It is a another New York Times bestseller. I've seen this like all over the place, so it is a very popular book. Definitely one to add to your list as well. And then the last one I have here is You Are a Badass. How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life by Jen Cicero, I believe. So another New York Times bestseller. I seem to have a thing for those. But this is more of a book to work on like yourself. So obviously as a business owner or entrepreneur, the more you work on yourself, the more you see the results in your business. So that's another reason why I have a lot of these books here addressing like personal things too. So it's not just all about my business. You want to have a good mix of things. So when you work on yourself, you change your mindset, and the more you improve that, the better your business will be. So this is another really cool one I'm excited for. So yeah, I am looking forward to all of these. I don't really know what to say about this one as much, other than that is going to help a lot with my mindset and just improving my self-confidence, my self-image, just everything about some of the limiting beliefs I have, some of the obviously self-doubt. But I do a lot of the times feel imposter syndrome, and that is something that I think a lot of entrepreneurs feel and can relate to, because when we first get started, we don't really have any experience. No one really has experience when they start a business for the most part, unless that's like a family business. And even then, a lot of times everyone experiences imposter syndrome in the beginning. And I think it's just one of those things that you have to build confidence. You have to see the results. It's definitely something that we all struggle with. And so I'm really hoping that this will kind of help me get through that a little bit. I'll probably keep this one towards the beginning of my reading list as well. Again, I'm kind of planning out my reading list this year to on a timeline that will most benefit my business, my personal life, all that. So I'm very excited for that. This one will probably be another break from my heavy business books, and will be a little bit of a pick-me-up as well. So super excited for this. I have all of these here, so I've got a big stack of books, but I am very excited to get into all of those. And then depending on how things go by the end of the year, I will hopefully give you good reviews on all of the books, kind of explain a little more in detail what my outlook on it was, and kind of what I got from it, and how it can help you a little bit. So hopefully you found that helpful. I know this was kind of a long video, but there's a lot to talk about in these. Again, if you need it, I do have this little tracker sheet to really help you get into your kind of reading habit, I guess, this year. So I'll include links to all of these books as best as I can find them. And any podcasts I think that were related, I'll try to include those as well. So it's going to be kind of a thick description, so make sure you check that out. If you have any questions about any of these, feel free to just, leave them in the comments. And I'll link to another video that I think you will find helpful. So I hope to see you there soon.